There is a term that's really important in the practice of yoga. Yoga, you can practice this on the mat, but definitely off the mat in your daily life. It's called viveka, which means discernment. Today, I was listening a little bit to a YouTube video on menopause in the brain. I personally am in menopause, and so I've been doing a lot of research lately, just trying to learn more about options, and meeting some of the symptoms that I have. And it's been pretty fascinating because uh, some of my preconceived thoughts on some of the treatments were guided by past data that actually look like have been shown to be very limiting and and actually the initial results that went out were wrong. The interesting thing about it is I'm not the only person that has continued to get that same information that was misinformation. And this is why discernment is so important. When we hear something, no, got to check it out. Like, is that actually is that true? We may not ever find out like absolutely if something is true, but doing our best to get curious and explore it is very important. So another interesting thing I came across, because this comes back to how culturally many women end up dealing with emotions. The two women that were on this video, menopause for the brain, which I will put a link to. So because I highly recommend everyone watch it. One of the women who is an OBGYN, has been a doctor for over 20 years, says the most common question she gets about menopause and doing hormone replacement treatment, HRT, is the question of, does it increase breast cancer? Study I alluded to that turns out is not incorrect. It's not correct. And there's been a lot of further studies that have shown that that breast cancer does not significantly, the risk of breast cancer does not significantly increase with hormone replacement therapy, HRT. And then she pauses and she says, but I let them know, do you know what conclusively, without a doubt, does? And she shared alcohol. And then she says, do you know how many women then ask and say, I want to stop drinking and get off alcohol? She's like, barely any. So I bring this to made me start laughing, because in my line of work, in working with women on emotional reactions and finding a calm mind in order to face life challenges more effectively, there's a lot of searching. I've tried this, I've done this and this and this and this. I tried this a little bit and it worked, and then I stopped doing it and I did this and this. Lots of searching and clinging and reading. Like most of the women I work with, and I've done this as well too, have stacks of self-help books, right? Like trying to read themselves, get as much data to help them get through and find a different way of meeting emotions. What tends to get overlooked are simple lifestyle practices or lifestyle habits that we can change. They're not easy, right? Habits are not easy to change. And we need to change habits if we want to have a calm mind, right? If we want to be able to face an emotional reaction, especially because emotional reactions happen a lot in our lives, like when there's conflict in relationship, right? Coming back to this interesting fact around women's health and menopause. When we hear that word cancer, right, our minds tends to freak out. I mean, I have a great example. I had that happen when I was young, when I had injured my ankle one of the many times in sports. And for some reason, that doctor like was looking at my ankle, like I had injured it, and wanted to rule out cancer. I can't remember. I just know that she said that word. And I remember bursting out crying, right? It freaked me out. I was like 16 or 17. So it's a freaky thing, right? So we're programmed to like, danger. I want to avoid this. It's a disease and illness, right? Yet when there's a plethora of information out there about a behavior that we can change, um, a habit that we can change, and one that we use a lot to self-medicate, self-soothe those emotions. That's easy, right? We don't want to hear it. It's our mind does not want to hear it because it's like, that's easy. I'm not ready to give that. I'm not ready to change that habit. And that's totally fine if you're not. And you may not be, but having all of the data, having and making an informed decision so that you can take responsibility for your life and for your actions. And so knowing like, if I continue to drink alcohol, um, I have an increase risk of breast cancer. Cool. Got it. And I'm still going to drink. Fine, right? But except that you're taking that risk, right? And if you're like, hold on. What did you just say? Like, I want to explore that more. Sweet. Explore that more and discern, do I want to change this habit? Because I'm not willing to take that risk. So this is part of viveka, right? Viveka in that practice of discernment, it means we're taking responsibility for ourselves. That's empowering, right? And getting to then make a conscious choice, which is also empowering. When we blindly go through life trying to have others give us answers, have tools and techniques try to fix us, there's a lot of disempowerment in that. So viveka is a practice that really helps us to find power again. It's not easy. It takes time. It takes practice. And it is an essential part of my inner roadmap program, because if you want to find a calm mind, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. Okay? To find a more lasting calm mind, to be able to effectively meet emotions, use those emotions to empower you, to lift you up versus keeping you stuck. Viveka is the way. Discernment, learning how to actually discern. We, as a society, have given up a lot of our discernment power. It's coming back. So that is a positive thing about living in today's world where we do have access to so much information. It can help with that discernment. It also can make it overwhelming at times. I get that. But it's there. Like, there's no excuse. We have the power to find data, to then make choices and then take actions in our life. Okay, so that's my encouragement. First, if you're a woman, even if you're a man, like watching this, please watch this video on menopause and the brain. Some groundbreaking science in women's health, which is, whew, man, it's just starting. Women's health is so far behind for so many reasons that I'm not going to go into. So please keep informing yourself. This is the body you've been given. If you're a female, this is the body you've been given. Let's learn about it and understand it. It's the It's the body we have to interact with the world. And so let's take care of it as best as we can. And let's work on sharpening our skill of discernment. That is a practice of yoga. Namaste.